Welcome to our program, Talk of the Town. I'm your host, Robyn Zimmerman. Excited to have you joining us for this edition. Our first guest is Corey Gibson. Corey is the owner of a photography business, which is called CGibson Photography, and he's brought some props that we'll talk about in just a minute. But great to have you with us to open the show.
Thank you for having me.
So Corey, let's begin with how you said that you had been in law enforcement
Correct.
for many, many years in Colorado and at the Beaufort Sheriff's Office, but then in 2018 you decided to go full-time into photography. So talk about that transition and really what you specialize in.
Sure, yeah, so probably about the 15-year mark in law enforcement is when I came to the realization that I probably couldn't do it forever.
Right.
So my plan was to transition into full-time photography. And when I moved here in 2014, and I got a job with the Beaufort County Sheriff's Office, and it took me about 4 years to build a business up to the point where I could leave the Sheriff's Office and do photography full-time. So I've been doing it full-time since 2018.
And you said that you predominantly do real estate photography, but you do portraits as well. So
Yes.
talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, so pretty much 90% of the photography I do is real estate or architecture. I work for a lot of vacation rental companies, real estate agents, some home builders here and there, interior designers. So that's the bulk of my business, yeah.
But so there's a big difference between like shooting houses
Yes.
and property and then people.
Correct.
So which do you enjoy the most? I guess maybe the people, or do you enjoy both?
There's pros and cons to both of them. I enjoy the real estate because
There's no people.
there's no, well, yeah, hopefully not, because sometimes they show up in the pictures and they're not supposed to, but but yeah, real estate, and then people, I enjoy the people too, because it's something different and it's a
Right.
new challenge, and
Right.
yeah, and then portrait imagery is a little more
Artistic?
I guess like when I'm shooting for real estate, it's more temporary for like
Yes.
purpose of a listing or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it goes away.
Right.
Home builders would be a little more long lasting, and portraiture, it's something that's gonna
Last forever.
Yes, correct.
So you talk about the importance of composition and
Yes.
lighting in
Right.
photography. Would you share with our viewers a little bit
Yeah.
about that?
So I do a lot of focus on composition, and what that does is it makes an image more pleasing for the viewer. And so the goal is to create an emotional connection to that image. And so in the business of taking pictures to sell things, you want to create that emotional connection so that that's just what's going to cause people to
Right.
want to buy
Yep,
like
right,
a property.
right.
And I also do photograph cars. Like I do the photography for the Mercedes dealership.
Okay, cool.
And just pretty much anything you want to sell, you're going to want to take pictures of it, focus on composition so that you can create that emotional connection for the viewer.
And the lighting also is
Correct,
critical, right?
yes.
Yes.
I focus a lot on lighting, white balance, because a lot of times, especially in this area, we have a lot of beautiful greenery. That green color casting can come through the window, and you can see it on ceilings and stuff, so I use a lot of flash to
Right.
kind of neutralize that. But I also, so my process is called flash ambient blending. So it's a process where you take an ambient shot, which is just natural light, but that's where you get all your color casts and blown out windows and stuff like that. And so that's where the flash comes in.
Right.
And then I can blend both of those two worlds
Cool.
and create looks like an ambient image, but not all the artifacts that come from just an ambient shot.
Wow, all the technical
Correct.
components to it. Now you've brought your camera and
Yes.
a drone. We've got about a minute left, so you want to just share with us what you have here?
Right, so this is one of my two drones. I do aerial imagery, mostly for just real estate and architecture. I am licensed by the FAA to fly commercially. I fly this guy a lot, actually.
And the camera is where? It's right there
Yeah,
in the
so
front?
you have the camera right here,
Okay.
and it's on a gimbal. So that means when the drone's flying through the air, say you're going sideways, it
it'll-
stabilizes the camera.
Cool,
Or
okay.
if you're going forward, so
Yeah.
it knows to keep the image stable no matter
Yeah.
what the drone's doing.
Okay.
And it's good to probably up to 30 mile an hour winds.
Oh, wow.
So,
And then your camera here, just very quickly.
yeah, so this is my Nikon D850. I've got two of these. And then the 12 millimeter lens for real estate, which is very wide, so that you can capture, a large part of it like a room. And then in my bag for portrait work, I've got it's a 7200 lens,
Oh, wow.
which I can reach out. And I do that for things like headshots.
Yeah,
And,
very good.
and it blows out the background.
Right.
And then just a variety of lenses for different purposes.
All right, so Corey, again, it's CGibson Photography, and you do have a website, corygibson.net?
Yes.
All right, so if you would like to get more information and maybe hire Corey and his company to do photography, then go for it. Thank you, Corey, for being with us.
All right, thank
you're
you.
very technical. You're very accomplished. I'm really glad that you're in this business, got out of law enforcement.
Yes.
You're in
Thank you.
photography. So thanks for being with us, and we'll be right back with Talk of the Town.